This is the Coins, Cashflow, and Conversations podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady, sponsored by Upstate Eastern Trust Solutions. If you're struggling financially and you live check to check, contact me today at dakotagrady.com. Resources to help you on your financial journey. If you're an esthetician entrepreneur, med spa owner, or an esthetician entrepreneur, and you need help with accounting and taxes for your business, contact me today at dakotagrady.com. Hey y'all, thank y'all for joining me for the podcast. Today I want to talk about 3 things every man wants from a woman. That's right, y'all. I've been married for over 15 years to my wife, Shamika, and I asked her this thing, and I'm like, one topic I wanted to ask her about. She gave me feedback about it, so I want to get it wife approved before I talk about it. But let's dive right in. I'm speaking from this for experience, and I think these things can help every woman to hopefully get insight into what us men want. Some of you may think this is what we want. Well, some of you may not know. Well, I'm going to tell you, my man who's a man for 15 years plus, and these are what things I think every godly man wants from his woman. The first thing is support. Support. That's right. I think I love when my wife supports me in my endeavors as an entrepreneur, as a husband. She supports me in making decisions on my parenting. She's just a great supporter. She backs me when I go to events. She helps me with my content. I love my wife. She's great. She helps me with our children. She's a great support system. She's just an all-around great person, and I really value her support, and I love it that she supports me, helps me doing like cleaning. She's just a great resource, not only physically but mentally. She'll talk and she'll help me think things through. She'll be a sounding board. Sometimes she doesn't feel like it, but she'll give me her opinion about things. And sometimes she'll just listen. She's a great listener, in my opinion. She listens to me. She may not have all the answers. I have any answer, but she will listen to me. She'll support me in my decisions. I'll go to her for her advice because she's a resource. She's a wealth of information. She's knowledgeable. She's smart. And I want that her opinion in my life to help me guide my decisions. Ultimately, it's my decision, but I want insight from a godly woman. I seek God and I seek godly counsel, and that includes godly counsel from my wife. So I think every man who is godly wants support from his wife. The second point is substance. Substance, y'all. I think every man wants a woman who has something beyond just her body, something that he can carry a conversation on, ask a question, get insight from her, like I said earlier, about support. Talk about things more than just a body, or more than just, oh, well, I'm going to go travel and do things. I want to have a woman who has substance. We can talk about things when it comes to parenting, money, business, relationships, marriage. I mean, traveling, things like life, not just one-sided. My wife has a different perspective than me. Talk about her point of view, our point of view, get understanding, coming together, make decisions together. That's right, y'all. I think it's important that my wife has substance to her, and not just a nice face, a beautiful face, and no knowledge, no expertise, nothing that will want me to go talk to her and engage and get her thoughts about things. So I think every man wants a woman who is full of substance, who can just carry a conversation, be a woman that is empowering, beautiful, smart, engaging. That's right, y'all, engaging. And I'm going to add another one as well. I think every man wants a woman who can handle the finances. This is off the cuff right here, because many men may be the breadwinners in their household, right? And if he makes the money but doesn't know how to handle the money, and she handles the money, that's good. That's really good, because if she can handle the finances, it relieves the burden from him having to deal with it. However, both parties, husband and wife, should know how to handle the finances, because in the event something happens as divorce or either a death, both parties in the event of a divorce will know how to be self-sufficient when it comes to the finances. So I'm thankful that my wife can handle the finances and I can too, because we can both be self-sufficient with our money if we needed to. When I was married, or before I got married, I lived by myself. My wife did as well. So we had to learn how to manage our own finances independently. Now that we were married, we manage our finances as a team. Some people may handle their finances separately. I had a guy tell me, he said he had hide money, HIDE money. He hid money from his wife. Maybe she had some kind of spending problem, I don't know. He said he hid money from his wife. I don't agree with that concept, because when you become one, you become one. We have bank accounts, my wife and I do, and our names on each account, because if she needs to get into my account and I'm out of town or traveling, she has access to it, or vice versa. I have access to her accounts too. There's no hiding money. Why? We're one, not separate entity. We're not a business. We're not a joint venture. We are a couple. We're a marriage. We're together as one. So I believe every woman, every man wants a woman who can help him with the finances. Now, this is the last one. I had to ask my wife for permission, really, to talk about this one. I believe every man wants great sex from his wife. That's why I said to y'all, sex, S-E-X. All right, so I'm gonna follow Christ, right? And I believe God made marriage, sex for the marriage couple. Before I got married, I used to fornicate, have sex without being married. And as a follower of Christ, I was doing something that God hadn't given me the permission to do. He gave me the ability to do it, but not permission, because permission means that I wasn't supposed to be doing what I was doing before I got married. So whenever I got finished doing what I was doing, having sex, it is, I felt like trash. I felt dirty, because I knew that wasn't for me yet, because I wasn't married. So when I got married, I was like, ooh, I feel so good, because I'm now relieved to have sex with my wife and not be sinning. Basically going against God's will for my life. God gave me my wife, and one thing I have permission to do is make love with each other, have sex. I believe if you aren't having sex in your marriage, it's a bad situation. It's a bad sign that your marriage isn't healthy. My wife and I went to a marriage retreat, actually a marriage conference, I should say, with our church. And the pastor said, basically couples have sex about twice a week. Well, 7 days in a week. So if you think about it, the weekends is 2 days. So more likely, couples are having sex on the weekends. I'm like, that's lame, is my opinion now, because 7 days, out of 7 days, you only have sex twice. Because people are busy the 5 days working, running the business, volunteering, taking care of children, running errands, doing the budget, shopping, all these things, and then come the weekend and make love to the spouse. I'm like, why can't I do it during the week? Maybe you can schedule that with your spouse to have sex more than twice a week. But I think this is an important conversation, because if you aren't having sex with your spouse, then who are you having sex with? Or what are you looking at that's fulfilling that in your mind, but not fulfilling it for you physically? It may be pornography that's hindering you from getting close to your spouse, I want to encourage you, if you have an issue with having sex with your spouse, maybe the drive might not be there, or maybe you're not connecting with your spouse by communicating, talking to your spouse, connecting intimately, taking out, going on dates, going to retreats to rebuild your marriage, build yourself up, each other up. Maybe you have to just do date nights. If you're married with children, schedule, say, a babysitter, or get a family member to take your children while you go date your spouse. Do whatever you need to do to keep that part of your marriage blazing. Not just a fire, but blazing hot, because you don't want someone else to step in and take your place, which you are rightfully given, because you and your spouse were made to be one. And having sex with your spouse is important because you want to build that connection with her or him and make sure that it's solid on solid rock so that nothing comes between you and your spouse. So I hope this is helpful to you. And again, I think every man wants support, substance, a woman who can handle the finances, and sex in their marriage. If you aren't married, I want to encourage you to do all these things except the sex part, so that you can become the person you would want to marry. And when the time comes for you to get married, you'll be ready to be the great husband or wife that your spouse needs. So I hope this conversation was important or impactful for you. I wanted to encourage you to share it, subscribe to the podcast, share with your coworkers, your colleagues, your friends, your family. Hope it was valuable. Leave your comments on the video down below. Click the subscribe button again. Give me your comments, whether you liked it, disagree, agree. But I want to know your feedback on this podcast because I want to add value to your life. Well, money and business, personal finance is important to me because I want to see people thrive financially in their marriages, parenting, and life. I want to help people reach their full potential so that they can become who God created them to become. Also in business, if you're making money, I want to help you to manage your finances because if you don't, you'll be broke. And you, by the way, get a copy of my book, Broke: Secrets to Fix America's Financial Crisis at dakotagrady.com. And if you want a copy of the journal, email me at dakota@dakotagrady.com. This is another episode of the Coins, Cashflow, and Conversations podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady, sponsored by Upstate Essential Solutions. If you need help with the accounting and taxes for your business, and you are a transportation entrepreneur, med spa owner, or esthetician entrepreneur, contact me today at dakotagrady.com. And if you need help with personal finances, you're struggling, living check to check, and you want to have a better financial future, contact me today at dakotagrady.com. This is the Coins, Cashflow, and Conversations podcast.